What's up everybody, it's Nick here. Today we're going to be replacing the fuel pressure diaphragm in my 1995 truck, so let's get into it. And while we're at it, we're going to replace these little gaskets too. So first things first, we want to start by taking off the air box. Alright, now with our wing nuts removed, we can remove the air box. Lift it up and out, set that off to the side. We remove this little piece, that way we have all the access we need to our throttle body. Alright, next up we disconnect our fuel injector wiring. There we go, make sure you get these little rubber seals off, you don't lose those. And now with a T20 Torx bit, we can begin loosening all of these bolts in here. And if you're going to do something like this, you want to go in and replace all these gaskets, so that way they don't leak. And as you take these bolts out, make sure you keep them in some sort of order so you know what you're dealing with, because they are different lengths and sizes. And also make sure you do not lose these little washers here. Luckily this is not a very intense thing. You don't have to take any of the throttle body off. You essentially just have to go like this. Be careful, there is some residual fuel in here. And we are now done in the engine bay. And now this is the only piece we're going to be working on, so you want to take all these little gaskets off. We will replace them. Make sure you have a nice clean surface. Mine are pretty new, so I don't have to do much cleaning. But just take them off, some off to the side, you can get rid of them. Same with this one here. And now this is going to be the hardest part to remove, because the fuel pressure regulator spring is actually in here that regulates your fuel pressure. I have a brand new one in here. You do not have to get a new one of these. But for this, you're going to need a Torx T15. So with our T15, we come in here and begin loosening these screws here. You want to apply a decent amount of pressure onto this here, so that way it doesn't fly off as the spring becomes more loose, because this is under some pretty decent tension. And in my personal case, my truck was running pretty rough. It was not running good at all. It would stall, it would just not really run right. What happened to be this spring in here that regulates the fuel pressure to your injectors actually was snapped into 3 pieces, so it was running way too rich, like to the point where it barely ran. So if you're having troubles and you have new spark plugs, new wires, you ran seafoam through it, you've done everything you could think to do, heck, maybe you even went through and did all the effort to time it, I'd still recommend rebuilding your throttle body, doing all the gaskets, just double checking your spring, making sure that it is indeed in good shape. It might help to grab someone else, but it's alright, we can do this. Now careful that out. So here we are, going to install the fuel pressure diaphragm. Take note of how it is oriented. Put it in like this, line up the tabs. Okay, we grab our spring. So I'd recommend using a vise like this, that way you can hold the tension on the spring, so you have plenty of room and time to throw them in by yourself, so you don't have to worry about having to hold it. So we have our new little figure 8 gasket, put that on there. Then we have this new gasket, which will come up here to the throttle body and put that on just like this. Make sure that's in place. That looks good. And set this in place. That is in place. Now we can grab all of our screws and begin to torque them down. So I already started all these screws, so now we can torque them down. Just get them all nice and tight. I like to go in a crisscross pattern as much as possible, so that way all these gaskets evenly compress. Alright, feels nice and tight. So all these torqued down, we can put back on these little rubber seals for our fuel injector wiring. Plug in our fuel injector wires, push them down until they click. Do the passenger side. Now we can go prime the fuel pump to see if we have any leaks. It's running, you don't see any visible leaks. We can put back on this here cap, get our air box in place. Connect this. Our air box is seated in, we can put the lid back on, screw it together, and we're ready to go. And here we are, one successful fix later. The fuel pressure diaphragm on my 1995 Chevy 350 has been replaced. So this is a successful fix. There's no leaks, everything's put back together. But before the video ends, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my good friends. His name's Tyler. He just completely revamped his channel, so make sure to go check him out in the description below. So thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe if you are new. Peace out.